So, quick question. Let me just make sure I'm in the right room. Raise your hand if you're currently accepting speaking opportunities within the next. She got a hand up already. Let me get the question out. If you're accepting speaking opportunities in the next 30 days. All right. So I want to make sure I'm in the right place. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to lock into your mind. You don't have to tell your neighbor. This is your personal information, right? Treat it like your bank account or your social security number. I want you to find your magic number. So in your mind, I want you to just think about how many speaking opportunities do you want to book in the next 30 days? How many times should you be speaking per month? Some of you, it may be 2 times, it may be 4, 10, 15. I know we got some super ambitious people in here. You got the number locked in? All right. Now, here's a question I want you to ask yourself. And again, this is your personal information. You don't have to tell anybody. I might ask you later, but you don't have to tell anybody here. Have you, and be completely honest, in the last 7 days, how much activity have you done as a speaker to put you in position to achieve that magic number? Just think about it. But as you heard, we'll get back to that. My name is Brian Olds. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first leadership experience tour, y'all. And guess what? This is kind of like family reunion for me. And it reminds me a lot about Black Speakers Network because our mission is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers. But here's the deal. We have a goal of putting more Black speakers on stages than any other organization in the world, and we're fast on track to do that. But I have a fundamental issue that I'd like to share with you. In my experience over the last 7 years, I find a fundamental flaw that most speakers, and myself included, share. And this is what I call the execution gap. See, there's a disconnect between the things that we say we want as a speaker and the activities that we consistently do day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out to actually achieve those goals. And I have a couple theories on why that is. And when people come and join Black Speakers Network and they get involved, I always ask them the question, what is your goal? Why are you here? What is it that you're trying to do? And I typically hear things like this. I want to speak on stages around the world. Anybody feel like they want to speak on stages around the world? Africa, Uganda, Baltimore. Come to Baltimore, let me know. I'll take good care of you. I want to speak on national television. Or I want to make 6 figures or 7 figures in my speaking business. And I say, that's great. Those are all incredible goals. And they come to me sometimes with tears in their eyes because they have so much passion about being a speaker. And I always follow up with one fundamental question. What have you done in the last 7 days to move you toward that goal? And I simply look at their activity, they tell me, and they were crying, they stopped crying, and now I'm crying because it doesn't match up. I had a mentor of mine, he told me one time, he said, Brian, I could tell the priority of anybody on the planet by looking at 2 things, their calendar and their bank account. You show me your calendar and your bank account, I could tell you your priorities. And basically, as a speaker, what he was telling me is that what you do with your time and how you spend or invest your money speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you're saying. So I don't think passion is a problem. Well, what about opportunity? Because people always say, hey, Brian, how do I find my next speaking opportunity? How do I get on an amazing stage like this? Where do they come from? Well, I'm here to let you know, Leadership Experience Tour, there is no shortage of speaking opportunities. And Black Speakers Network, we send out an email every single day to speakers, letting you know about all sorts of opportunities, and here's the numbers that we came back with. In the United States alone, we're not even going outside the United States. I know we have some international speakers in here, but just in the United States alone, when you think about the number of expos and conferences, there are 16,000 expos and events taking place every single year in this country. When you think about associations and organizations, there are 46,000 organizations and associations that need speakers every single year, sometimes multiple times per year, local chapter meetings. Anybody been a speaker on a podcast last year, this year? Yeah. Anybody run a podcast? All right, take pictures, take notes, because you should be getting on these people's podcasts. There are 500,000 podcasts, active podcasts, meaning there's been an episode in the last 30 days in the United States alone, most of which need speakers. And so there's no opportunity gap. There's certainly no expertise gap. Look around this room. We have more doctors, more PhDs, more people that have written books and created programs. There's no expertise gap. What we have is an execution gap. And so over the last 15 years, what I've boiled this down to is a formula to solve the execution gap. And I believe, it is my promise to you, if you embrace this formula that I'm going to share, and this is my first time sharing it live at the Leadership Experience Tour, but if you embrace this formula, not only do I believe you'll be far ahead of other speakers, but you will never have to worry about where your next stage is coming from. Is anybody interested in the formula? Yes. 3 people, awesome. Okay, so here we go. The formula, you might want to write this down. Belief plus activity multiplied by visibility equals results. I'll say it again. Now everybody's getting their pen. They're like, this is a long formula. I told you, I'm not going to steal you wrong. Belief plus activity multiplied by visibility equals results as a speaker. And so a few minutes I have left, let's break that down. Let's look at belief. There are 2 types of beliefs you need as a speaker. You need belief in yourself that you are worthy to be on the stage. If you don't believe that you're supposed to be here, subconsciously, you won't do the activities necessary to be here. You won't make the phone calls. You won't send the emails. You won't talk to the people. You won't get your website done. You will procrastinate over and over again. You need belief in yourself. The second type of belief you need is belief in your message. You need proof that your message delivers the promise, the transformation that it's supposed to provide to your customers, to your audience. And if you don't have that proof, I encourage you to go find it. That's why you go out and collect testimonials. That's the reason that you go out and build case studies. That's the reason why you follow up and not just, everybody can applaud, but what happens 30 days, 60 days, 90 days after you speak? Are you collecting that data? If you're not capitalizing on building your belief. When you know a program works, how many of y'all been to a great restaurant that you just swear by? And you're not the chef, but you know that they're going to have a great experience. If you know you deliver an incredible experience, then belief is never going to be a problem for you. Belief. Second part of the equation, who remembers it? Belief plus what? Activity. Thank you so much. Belief plus activity. So let's think about what are the critical activities that you should be taking as a speaker? Because there's a lot of things you could be doing. But what I want you to focus in on is revenue-producing activities, the things that are going to get you paid. And just to make sure I'm still in the right room. Is anybody interested in getting paid? Yes. I just want to make sure, because, some people, they just doing this for fun. Revenue-producing activities. Here's the deal. We can spend all day on social media, arguing with people, seeing what's happening on Capitol Hill, CNN. If you're not a political commentator, you should not be arguing with people all day on social media. It doesn't work. We also could spend so many hours admiring what other speakers are doing, what other content creators are doing, watching other people's YouTube videos and podcasts. And I'm not saying that that's bad, but they're not revenue producing activities, RPAs. What are revenue producing activities? One revenue producing activity is reaching out to meeting planners, people who host events, submitting speaker proposals, making calls, sending emails, getting your LinkedIn updated, making sure that you are connecting to the people who can put you on stages. Another revenue producing activity is creating your products, your services, writing books, creating courses. And the third, obvious producing activity is standing on the stage, whether virtual or in person. How many of you realize there are two types of stages that you could stand on? Somebody else's or one that you create. And if you're not booked to be on somebody else's stage in the next 30 days, guess what you can do? Create your own. You don't need anybody's permission. Nobody's permission. So we talked about belief plus activity multiplied by what? What's the third part of the formula? Visibility. If I can't find you, I can't book you. Right? So every speaker in this room, everyone watching online, what I know for a fact is that we could all benefit from more visibility. Is that right? And here, I'll let you in on a little secret. 95% of all speakers, 95%, I should say, of all speaking engagements are going to come from other speaking opportunities. The problem is you don't know which one they're going to come from. You don't know if it's going to be a person that heard you on a podcast 3 years ago. You don't know if it's going to be an individual that's sitting in the back of the room at the Leadership Experience Tour that are bringing your name up in rooms that you don't even know exist. 95% of your engagements are going to come from other speaking opportunities, which means that you have to up your visibility. You have to get out there. Belief plus activity multiplied by visibility equals results. Massive results as a speaker is being consistently booked and paid for your efforts. Now, that all sounds good. So, Brian, what can you do about that? Well, as you heard, I'm here from Black Speakers Network. And obviously, one person, great. I wouldn't leave you hanging. And of course, I'm going to have an opportunity to help increase that visibility. Is anybody interested in an opportunity? If I could get you booked immediately for a speaking opportunity, anybody in this room, would you be interested? All right. So for the first time, I don't even know if Sean knows this. Where's Sean? I don't even know if he knows this. I am unveiling a new service, a new category in Black Speakers Network. And the Leadership Experience Tour is the first to have access to it. And it's called BSN Power Talks. BSN Power Talks is live as of today, and you can apply. And it's kind of a long link, but I'll give it to you. There's a QR code at our table that you can scan to sign up and apply. But if you're a fast writer, you can take this down, the URL. It's bit.ly/ it's all one word, lowercase, bit.ly/ BSN Power Talks. Apply. I told you it was on. But bit.ly/ BSN Power Talks. Apply. A BSN Power Talk is a 10-minute virtual presentation. Does anybody have a goal of doing a TEDx talk? Yes. Well, while you're waiting on your TEDx talk, come get your reps in on our platform. 10-minute virtual pre-recorded opportunity that we're going to share across all of our networks. And if you're sitting in this room or watching online, you are first to have access to it. So go ahead and apply. Doesn't matter what you speak about. We have room for every individual, every type of expertise on our platform. We got to get you visibility. And so I encourage you to do that. Now, if we like you and you apply and you want to move forward, we're going to ask you to do something crazy called join. We're going to ask you to become a part of BSN. That's how it works, because we're going to be investing time and resources. And you say, Brian, how much is BSN membership? It's $350 a year. And so if is anybody, so $350 a year, $1.05 a day. Does anybody have a problem investing $1.05 a day into their speaking business? Nobody. Good. Right room. But I'm going to sweeten the pot just for the Leadership Experience Tour. If you book your BSN Power Talk before the end of the Leadership Experience Tour, if you book your talk and you become a BSN premium member at the annual level, you can also do $35 a month, but if you do the $350, you will get not one, but two BSN Power Talks that you could deliver anytime this year. For everybody else, you get one per year, but I'm opening it up for two. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here at the Leadership Experience Tour. I cannot be more proud of the individuals that are here, because how many people realize that 85% of success is showing up? But we can't just show up. We have to close that execution gap. And so I invite you to join me. I know we have several folks here already part of the BSN family. I just want to shout out to y'all. BSN is in the building, yes. But for those who aren't, I invite you to come join us, because here's the deal. This year, in 2023, I want to be surrounded by people who aren't making excuses, but are taking action. So let's close that execution gap. Let's increase our belief. Let's get that activity up, and let's multiply your visibility. And as we say in Black Speakers Network, keep speaking up, because your audience is absolutely waiting for you. Thank you very much.